for coming. We especially want to thank the Kiwanis here in Foley, as well as the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this evening and allowing members of the area to listen to the candidates, field some questions, and hear their responses. So I'm Gloria Vandenbrake. I work with Minuteman Press. I'm the marketing executive for them. I was here 2 years ago. I've done this probably for the last 20 years, both in Brainerd, the St. Cloud area, and southwest Minnesota as well, when I lived down there. So it's always fun. I always enjoy doing this kind of thing. So what we're going to be doing is starting an order of the candidates. We do want you to think of questions you would like to ask the candidates. So we have both Troy and Bruce. Bruce is with the Kiwanis, and Bruce is with the Chamber, and Troy is with Kiwanis. And they'll be gathering any questions throughout the time. So if you have a question, there's paper on each of the tables. Feel free to jot them down and signal to them, and they'll pick them up. There's coffee and cookies in the back. Feel free to head back there if you need to. What we're going to do is start in order, and if you guys haven't drawn for any order yet, have you? For starting order, so do you mind if we just start this way, which was the order of which was published according in the paper, and then we'll alternate that with different questions. So the opening comments, each candidate will have 2 minutes to give their opening comments, and then closing comments, they'll also have 1 minute to wrap things up. I do reserve the right to allow a candidate to respond back if there was anything personal brought up or anything that a candidate probably would like to specifically respond to. And Holly is the timekeeper. So if you guys can watch Holly, when 30 seconds are up, she'll be doing a 3. And then she'll be doing a stop when your time says stop. And then if you don't stop, I'll come in and so, okay. Any questions from anyone? Otherwise, we'd like to get started. So, the very first general question is, tell us something about yourself in your beginning comments. What unique capabilities, strength, and skills you bring to the office of the City Council, and essentially, why should people vote for you on November 8th? And we'll start with Roger and Will.
I'm older than dirt. I was born in Minneapolis in 1938. Went to South High School. Went in the military at a young age. Served in Europe for 32 months. When I got out of the service, I went into construction. Did that for 30 years. I was 10 years as a foreman and a superintendent. I work with people, and I like the challenge of working with people and getting things done. I've been married to my beautiful wife for 47 years. I have a daughter and a son. My son lives in Oklahoma. My daughter lives in the area. My daughter adopted 16 kids. My wife and I came here to Foley to help her with that project, and it's been challenging. I believe that the people living from paycheck to paycheck and the people living on fixed income, their voice has been silenced. I just don't see anybody that represents them on the City Council. I would like to do that job and see if I can get things done. I love a challenge.
The same question to Rosalie, right?
Yes, my name is Rosalie Masacchio. I live at 150 Cottage Grove in Foley. I was born and raised in Foley, and then I left. And I recently retired, and the last 3 years I've made my home in Foley. Graduated from St. Benedict's College in St. Joseph down the road. I also graduated from Gonzaga University Law School in Spokane, Washington. I practiced law for 38 years in Toledo, Ohio, where I raised my 4 children. Since returning, I've been studying Foley government and decided to run for city council because Foley has many challenges ahead. We have a water crisis in Foley. We have a sewer system that's at or near capacity, and we have to make some serious decisions pretty quickly. The Minnesota governor has a proposal to spend $300 million to improve the wastewater disposal system all over the state. And 250 cities have a plan and they're on a list to get some of that money, and Foley is not yet on the list. We need some of that money here so that we can get our own sewer system going. If we don't have that sewer system, we can't have senior housing, we can't have any new industry in town, and we can't build any new houses, and our tax rates will remain high. The other issue I'm really concerned about is Highway 23. Our children can't get back and forth to school safely. I'm a walker, I can't get across the highway. I think that that is really important. I understand that we want to keep our taxes down, but sometimes if we don't do long-term planning, we're going to spend more money. If I'm privileged to serve you as a council member, I promise to study hard, to listen to the citizens, to cooperate with my fellow councilmen, and to act in the best interest of our children, our seniors, and our families. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Next, Amanda, just simply the question is, tell us about yourself, what unique qualities, capabilities, strengths, and skills you bring to the city council position, and why should people vote for you?
Sure, thank you. My name is Amanda Wilkin. I'm sure most of you don't even know who I am. I moved here from Sartell about 4 years ago. I grew up in Sartell. I am 26 years old, so pretty young compared to a lot of what you're seeing coming into the politics arena. So I think that kind of brings a little bit of a progressive feel, a little bit more of the people in my demographic to be able to be heard as well amongst the other people here. When I moved to Foley, I noticed there was a few different issues going on. I'm glad that they're dealing with some of the roadway problems. That was a big one. I have a 10-year-old stepdaughter at home, and I'm very concerned about things with the school system, like Rosalie said with the crossing at Highway 23. I'm currently on the safety committee as well as the planning commission, and I've been working on a few different things there to try to get the ball rolling on different fun projects, hoping to connect with some people as to what they'd like to see in the town. Also interested in getting involved with Safe Roads to School to work towards the Highway 23 crossing. I graduated from Sartell High School in 2008. I went to the Tech College for advertising degree. I work in St. Cloud, so I'm still fairly local, even though I haven't grown up here like most of you have. But I really appreciate the small town feel I've gotten from everybody so far, and I think that we have a lot of things to offer to people that would be willing to move to the area, either based off of business or residential, and it'd be really great to expand in order to help with the taxes and just kind of make it a better place. So, thank you.
And Jack isn't able to be with us due to his work, so just a reminder to everyone who plans to vote, you will be able to vote for two of these candidates. So, go ahead, Jeff, if you can respond.
Good evening. I had the unique opportunity to grow up in a household with a staunch Republican, and my brothers were Democrats. So I got the full the description of both sides of the political view. And I believe that with that in mind, the main thing is to make sure that your voice is heard, whether you're on one side or the other. Make your voice be heard. My father told me, he taught me many things, and he taught me to, first of all, treat people with respect, whether you agree with them or not, and definitely honor that respect. And with that, I believe that I can bring that to the city council so we can all make our community that much better.
Yes, Brian?
Hello, I'm Brian Weiss. I've lived in this town for about 40 years now, over 40 years. seen a lot of changes. I'm retired now. And it's a nice area to live in, but we have a few problems with roads and a few problems with the school and a few problems with this. But we have a lot of problems with these kids, like they're saying on Highway 23. That does bother me because I almost saw a kid get hit here about a month ago. And it's not very, I was sitting right down there by the corner where my wife lives. And I mean, these kids, it should be taken care of. Also, I have a few relatives that live in this town, just a few. And, you know, they're always talking to me about things. And, well, you can only do so much. You know, since I retired, I got a little more time on my hands, but, you know, it's just too much to do right now. We got to work together. I know there's a problem, but it'll eventually be eliminated. That's about all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Why don't you just hand it back? We'll have Rosalie start. Next one. A question from the audience is, what is your top priority that you plan to do if you're elected to office? And we'll only have 1 minute, and so Holly will signal to you when you have 30 seconds left. For some of you, you may have addressed it during your intro comments. Feel free to repeat it, and then if you have a secondary one, you can add it as well.
Well, I actually have 3. I think that the sewer system has to be addressed, or we're going to be in big trouble. I think that the highway crossing is really important to everybody who walks. And I think the third thing is that I understand that there are only about 12 senior housing units in our town, and I think the housing for the seniors, the city council doesn't build houses, but I think that we need to address our sewer system so that we can address that.
Should you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What is the top priority that you would focus your time on if elected? And otherwise, you feel free to add a secondary.
Sure. My top priority would be to listen. Basically, since I am new to town, I don't know many people, so I would love to get to know some of you, as well as being unbiased to certain people. I don't really have any one way or the other who takes priority, whose interests are more important than others. I just want to listen to what everybody wants and try to make everything better for everyone.
Thank you. Go on to Jeff.
Wastewater pipe, that is our top priority, because if we can't get rid of our wastewater, we cannot let our town grow. If we are lucky enough to have business come in and they want to build here, and they are going to use a lot of water, much less get rid of a lot of water, we have to be able to let that, we have to be able to get it out. And because we certainly don't want to turn business away.
Well, I think
Can you put the mic? I'm sorry, the mic in.
oh, you can hear me? Oh, okay. I think maybe, you know, the wastewater is a big question. It's got to be taken care of. And, you know, we have the property out there to do it. And it's just a matter of time. I mean, it's going to take maybe 10 years before we can get a sewage plant in here and even get started. But if we want to have businesses and more houses in this town, we're going to have to do some thinking and do some building. Otherwise, we're just not going to make it. And the same in the street crossing, those kids going to school, if there was a way that they could go over the road or under the road anyway, just to go. Because they come down there and you want to see a bunch of kids, they're not very old, stand in the corner and wait for those big trucks. I think if we put some flashing lights here, make people understand that they gotta be prepared to stop. Because it's really bad. And I think a lot about the kids. I mean, I got grandkids going to school there. You know, I know they walk up to my place with their mother and grandmother's place, so I mean, it's bad. And one other thing is...
Thank you, Brian.
Oh.
Your time succeeded, and we need to get Roger a chance yet?
I'd like to see the taxes go down instead of up, as it has been going up. I'd like to see the free spending in. We need to have fiscal responsibility and not be throwing our money away. I'd like to see a 10% reduction in every department in the city. Thank you.
If you could pass the mic to Amanda. And this question would probably be near and dear to some of the chamber members' questions. So if elected, what would you do to help businesses grow? Businesses stay in town and encourage new business growth.
I think that the major focus right now is the roadways, because especially with the downtown businesses, which we would like to see a little bit more of the kind of cutesy, small town shops come in. They are not going to want to come to a town where the roads are crumbling and the sidewalks none of their patrons can access. So I think we're already making some really good headway, just to kind of, work on beautification a little bit, just to make sure that the business sees themselves as not only coming here because it's an interesting place to shop, but to also stay around. And in addition to the shops, the industrial park, there are a few empty buildings over there, and it would be nice to either offer some incentive programs or something of that nature in order to get people a little bit more interested in bringing their business out here for jobs as well.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, we were lucky to have Silk Sock come in last year, and the city was able to offer them tax increment funding, which is huge for a new business. One of the big things that is a problem downtown is we have old buildings, and for the profit that a business has downtown in the summer, unfortunately, they end up spending it on heating the old buildings. Myself, I work in Sauk Rapids, but I try to spend every dollar I have in Foley, and I think it's up to all of us to help all our businesses in town wherever we can. A lot of times we end up spending a little more than we want to, but in the long run, as long as we can keep our businesses thriving, the good word will be passed around that Foley is a good place to start a business.
Brian?
Well, I think Foley, I'll tell you one thing, we do have a good school system. I think we all agree on that. And a good school system will bring people into town. Just gotta get the sewer taken care of, we're getting the streets taken care of. It'll take a while, but it'll be done. I mean, I've lived here over 40 years, and that road past my place has never been touched except in the patch, and they've done a good job of patching it. I'm not saying they aren't. It gets pretty bad to go dry road patch. But that's about it. But I tell you one thing though, I'm gonna see a little bit more improvement with our people who work for the city and for the police department. They're gonna be, we're having too many problems in town, little things, but they'll be taken care of.
Return it back to Roger over here. Did you need me to repeat that question, Roger?
Yes, would you please?
Sure. Yep. If elected, what, did I do with it? Oh, okay, yes. What would you do to help businesses stay in town as well as encourage new business growth?
I do a lot of praying on my knees, because without prayer, nothing will happen.
Rosalie?
I think that we probably need to listen to the businesses and see what they need. I also think that we need to study that issue and see, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. All small towns want to keep their downtowns thriving for the retail. And there are some ideas out there that don't spend a lot of money on one or the other, but I think we need to figure out what the plan is and do something with the retail. I think for the industries, we have a city administrator that needs to work on that. We also have county people. Getting industry into town is not an easy thing, but it certainly is something that you have to work diligently. If somebody's interested, you have to see what's stopping them. Do they need housing for their workers? Do they need more water and sewer, probably? Do they need tax incentives? And if, you know, you have to recruit, and then you have to talk to those people and
Thank
see
you,
what they need.
Thank you. If you could pass the mic over to Jeff. The next question did come from the audience. It's asking if you would support videotaping of council meetings so that people who are unable to attend the meetings can listen to it at a later point. And I'll give just 30 seconds, so you can keep it brief.
Absolutely, as long as we can find a grant to pay for it. I do believe that it is important for the people that can attend council meetings to be apprised of what's going on, but there again, it is their responsibility to let the council members know what their opinion is. There is grants out there for that, and I do support video recording.
Brian?
Yeah, so I support it, because there's a lot of people in this town, you know, our meetings are at 5:30, and we're trying to come home from work, or, you know, eating or something, but I do agree that they should be all videoed, because then you got something to go back on, and it'll help everybody.
Thank you. Bring it all the way to Roger.
I support it wholeheartedly. Everyone will be informed and know what's going on in the city.
Rosalie?
I think it would be great, because I always wanted to be on TV.
Just like you are tonight. Amanda?
I would love to do that actually, and I would be willing to take out my own phone to do that because I think a word out of what's going on would be really important because we don't see enough people at the meetings, and it would be really nice if people had easier access.
If you want to hand the phone down to Brian. Another question from the audience, that actually came from a couple of them, so I'm going to kind of summarize 3 of them, is just looking at the winter that's coming ahead, potentially snowy, icy conditions, what can be done with some of the dangerous sidewalks in terms of both crossings and downtown. And we'll do 30 seconds as well.
What do you mean by danger? I mean that.
Slip
That's
fall
on there?
hazards, yep, sloping, so.
Well, it's gonna take the city boys to clean it up. And they're not just gonna be able to go right down the pickup truck and scrape it all out because they're gonna ruin that sidewalk. I can tell you that. I pushed snow for 30 years, I know. And that's about it.
Okay. Bring it all the way back to Roger again.
It's simple, we just gotta keep the snow cleared away, shoveled, broomed off, whatever it takes.
Rosalie?
Well, I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. There's all kinds of things you can do to keep your sidewalks shoveled. I noticed that nobody comes around and gives me a ticket if I don't shovel my sidewalk. Toledo, Ohio, it was a big no-no. But I think that there's a number of options. Need to study, need to talk to the community, see what they're willing to do.
Amanda?
I agree with you 100%, Rosalie. I see it as a huge issue when I watch children walking to their school bus in December through 3 feet of snow because other people also have not taken care of their sidewalks. So I wouldn't say it's just a downtown issue. I would say it's an everyone issue. As far as downtown specifically, to my knowledge, it is usually the city's job to clear from snow and then the business's job to do things like salting in order for their patrons to get in safely. If anybody else has other ideas, though, it would be great to maybe get some people together at a city council meeting to find out what else we could do.
And then Jeff, to conclude that question.
Well, the sidewalk has been a big issue. And unfortunately, according to ADA rules, in order to get the funding to make the sidewalk happen, we've had to follow the ADA rules. With that in mind, it's going to be a burden on the public works, and it'll be a burden on the shop owners to keep it clean. I've slipped on smooth surfaces, so I think we all have to do our due diligence, slow down, because we're always in a hurry, slow down, and let's do this, if we see somebody that is coming up to the sidewalk, let's take the time to help that person out. And I think with that in mind, we can all be much better people.
Thank you, Jeff. If you want to hand the mic to Brian, we'll allow you now to have 1 minute for your closing comments. Anything that you have not said so far that you'd like to share with everyone.
Well, I think we've all agreed on pretty well the same on some things. And as far as living in Foley, it's a pretty good little town to live in. And, you know, it's just, you know, these are small things, but we're working on them. So, no, that's about it, I guess.
And Jeff, no, we're going back this way, so Jeff, you're next.
What was the question?
It's your closing comments for 1 minute. Anything you have not said so far, any concluding comments?
I'd like to say thank you for all the people that attended tonight. It's nice to get involved with politics, whether we like it or not. But this is our community, and I think, and I believe that the situations that we are faced with are not problems. We can deal with anything when we all work together on something. And I think the future is bright, and I hope that you tell people that haven't voted in the past to get out and vote. Make their voice be heard by that ballot. It does make a difference. Thank you.
Man.
Honestly, I'll be surprised if most of you haven't decided who you're voting for already, just because people tend to know people, and that's the way things go. So I just want to invite anybody who isn't familiar with me to sit down and chat with me. I'll hang out for a little while. You'll usually see me bopping around town at the school and what have you. So I'd really just like to get an opportunity to meet you all, even if I'm not elected. For future things within the city, I would love to talk to some of you people to see what your concerns really are, and really appreciate seeing everybody tonight. Thank you.
Rosalie?
Well, having not lived here all my life, I will tell you that Foley is a great place to live. Small town is got a very special place for everyone. I do think that what we need to do is listen to the citizens, see what the concerns are. We have retired people, we have young people, we have families, we have young single people here. We have a lot of people coming into town and leaving. And so I would like to make an effort, people who work here, see if they might consider living here. But basically, if I'm elected, I promise to listen more than I talk. Thank you.
And Roger?
I'm an ordained evangelist, and I believe there's nothing that's impossible in this world. I coached youth soccer some time ago, and the team that I got, first year they lost every game. And at the end of the year, I thought, well, I was just going to lay it down. My wife said, "You're a no good coach." And then I couldn't quit. So I went for 7 years, winter and summer, working with those kids, and they turned into champions, won many championships. The proudest I am is a third-place trophy that they won. I took a bunch of 15-year-old kids and moved them up to under 19. They said, "You're crazy. It can't work. It's impossible." Those kids came with an eyelash of winning a championship. The team they lost to won a state championship. Thank you.